There we go. And we're live. All right. Welcome, guys, to the Magic Hour with Anna Stone and Stephanie Siren.
Hello, everybody. How are you all doing this evening?
Today what are we talking about? We're talking about magical dating or dating while on the magical path, right?
Right. Right. So this is because dating's hard enough, right? Especially, and let me just add to it, age also. So we are older, right? We're not spring chickens anymore, and even though I feel that way, we're not. So it gets harder with age because there's less of a pool to go from, right? And they're all like kind of it's like, why are you single? You know, it's kind of a thing, right? But we can say it about ourselves too. Like, what?
Hello, Emily. I feel like that's a funny thing to say to somebody, right? Because there's so many circumstances nowadays that could mean why you're single in your 40s, like we were, like you are, like there's a lot of things. Hi, Lizzie. Hi, Bonnie. Found you. Yes, yay, thank you. Here you are, our friend Bonnie in the audience. Today we're talking about what it's like to date when you're on the magical path, right? And so I personally have dated both magicians and muggles. And I call them muggles jokingly, of course, just people who don't practice magic. Right. Because there is a big difference, especially when you're a witch like ourselves. You can tell just by the feel of who practices and who doesn't, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think that I have only ever dated one person that was of the, had an esoteric-ish background, whatever you want to call it. And it was definitely different, for sure. I did prefer that over, I guess, now that I have seen the difference, but because I was, first of all, where I'm from originally, Central California, like, I didn't even talk about this stuff out loud ever. So it was all secret on my end. So I was always dating guys that are just normies, like whatever, normal. But now I'm like, I need somebody that's going to vibe with my thing. I don't want to hear about church. Don't come at me about church. Do not tell me my soul is going to be, betrothed to Satan. He doesn't want any part of this. He doesn't want any part of it. He's like, that girl's too much. I can't handle her. So I'm fine with that. Like, no, I don't want to hear your shit. So I don't want to deal with that anymore. I'm too old to be pretending I'm something I'm not. Right. So
right. Absolutely. That's very true. We don't want to pretend we're something we're not. But also at this point in the game, I don't think there's any way we can deny what we are. Right. Because I go into public and people know me and they know what I am.
Yeah, that just happened.
And so when I was dating, when I was on the dating scene, I actually had a little test for them, and I tell them to go look at my Instagram. And I'd be like, if you can look at my Instagram and you can say, oh, yes, I am in agreement, or I feel the same, or even this is okay, then we can proceed.
Right.
Because I knew that was going to be such a divisive thing, because when you're on the path, you're married to it.
Right. I mean, it's like in every aspect of, I mean, it's not like I'm, hi, Kathleen.
Hi, Kathleen.
Trying to, it's not like we're trying, you don't try, it's just, it is what it is. So, the Instagram thing is a new one for me because I'm, again, recently single, unfortunately. Like, not that I wanted to be in the spot, but I am. So I'm dealing with it. And I had to put myself back out there. So how do I, what did I do? I was just like, here's what's up. Boom, here you go. Because before I would kind of beat around the bush about it, really. And I would just be like, oh, I read tarot cards or something. And right away, and just the tarot cards alone is enough to see who's, there would be people that are like, oh, no. You got to have Jesus. No, don't fucking tell me again about Jesus. Don't you're done, block, more.
I don't like it when people try to tell me how to practice or how to be, but I think that's also a universal thing. It's not just for this one situation, But it's for many situations, you know, when we think we know better than somebody else, that's ego involved, right?
Right. And but you're doing exactly what the Bible tells you not to do, which is judge people.
Right. Kathleen says, could I have a message, please? Kathleen, if you hold on with us, actually, at the end of our segment of our podcast, the last 20 minutes is when we do our live readings. So hold on with us. And if you have any questions in the meantime pertaining to what we're talking about, guys, please post them in the chat because we will respond and read them out loud and share them.
Yeah, if you have, like, when we start talking about story, like our experiences, like if you have one that you want to share, please feel free.
Yeah, if you have one similar, please share. If you've dated a magician or you are a magician out in the dating world right now, what does that look like for you? You know, because it is so funny, the responses we have, but at the same time, you know, that's how you find an emotionally mature person, right? Is when they know that they can't proselytize and change you, right? They're already there for who you are. They're showing up for who you are already.
And that's the risk that you run. Like, that is the risk that you run if you're not upfront about it and how serious it is for you in your life, right? Then that happened with not my ex, but the one before that. Like, he was like he was a secret Christian, you know?
Yeah.
And
my assistant just brought me.
I see that. I'm jealous.
I'm so stoked.
I came home one day and there was a rosary on my altar, and I was like, I was freaking scared. Like, it scared me because I didn't know where it came from, and I didn't think it was his, but it was. And I was like, why did you put this on my? What is wrong with you? Like, this is like, it's so wrong. It's like, don't push your stuff on me. Like, I'm not pushing it on you. Like, I'm doing my own thing, right? People can't, can't hang with that. They cannot handle just letting people be. Like, everybody has to try to change everybody
emotionally immature, right? Because if you're not willing to see outside the box and look at a person, because it's like the thing about potential, right? You don't fall in love with someone's potential,
right? Because it's not a thing.
that is toxic, right?
Not a thing.
It's toxic
it's literally
for them
not real.
And for you. Like, it's not just toxic for one person, it's for both.
Right,
because you're falling in love with something that's not there.
Right.
And they're being persecuted for something that they can't even be.
Right. They're failing you by not living up to the image in your head that they don't even know about.
And you're failing them by expecting somebody to do so, right?
Yeah. Yep. It's a lose. Yeah.
Right. And so when you're dealing with somebody who's on the magical path, if they're completely embodied, right? If there's somebody who's fully committed, married to the path, initiated, all of these things, then you're going to know that, one, that's their number one, right?
Yeah, right.
And number two, if that is their number one and they're not crazy and they've done the work, then they're going to expect you to flourish and come as their equal in this field, right?
Right. Yeah. And like you shouldn't, like, hopefully at this age and this time, like, you know, because we're in our 40s, right? So at this point, somebody should already know what they're doing, like what they're about, you know, like you shouldn't have to be necessarily teaching or like anything like that. Like, it should be your own thing and you bring to the table something different, and then you guys can hopefully work together. That's the best outcome, I guess. But even working separately from each other, just knowing that you both engage in those things is fine, right? Like, but how do we meet? So like right now we're in this digital age where no one goes outside anymore. So we meet people like how online. Right.
Online,
so I have some tips about like what to look out for, because trust me, the last few weeks here have been hell regarding red flags of people online dating situations. Okay. And I've run into so many that I started making a series about it on my TikTok, because my God, like these are new. These are ones that I had never seen before, to be honest, or maybe I wasn't wise enough to pick them up, but like now they're bad. So I'm going to, like, even if you're not a magical, actually, like, I think they matter. Like, and I think if you see someone's profile page and it says drama free, no, they're lying. They're lying. Anyone that has like drama free, don't bring your drama, whatever that means.
That means they're a drama magnet usually, because like people project a lot, right? Yep. Especially on these platforms.
Right.
And And
is that Whitney?
Sorry, I've got sound going on behind me.
Is it Whitney again?
Yes. I had to have somebody take care of that for me. Okay.
Yeah, so, projecting.
They're projecting. They're projecting what they've already experienced and are expecting, right? So that's cyclical, right?
Right.
It's going to cause somebody to continually do the thing. And so they're looking for somebody who's like, yeah, no drama, even though they're already in that cycle, right?
Yeah, right.
Because they've experienced it. So now you've got these two cycles coming together, magnetizing together and making more drama.
Right. And the thing is like, it should be unsaid. It doesn't need to be said that you don't want drama. Like, that's just a standard, right? Like, for normal people.
For an adult.
For adults that are, like, not in high school mindset anymore. Like, drama's no, right? Like, I don't need to say that. That should just be a given. So, like, that's a red flag. The other one, too, is, like, when they say how much they respect women. I hate to say this, but I've noticed that the more someone says that they have mad respect for women, the less they actually do. So, and I think I figured out why. It's because I think that they equate the idea that they are saying, what? Oh, dude, like, we were both getting like, okay, so I'm on camera. Okay, so we both, like, they're saying that me saying I respect women is me respecting women. You know what I mean? Like, I'm saying it.
Right. The statement. You know what I call this? I call this the altruism Olympics.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And what people do is they say these statements, right? Mm-hmm. And it's to look like they're completely altruistic and like they're a wonderful person, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they haven't put in the work, but instead they're just going to say they have, right?
Yeah. Because this guy, like, literally was saying how much and then in the same breath, like, said some super vulgar, crass, like, totally sexist remark to me. And I was like, okay, so I get you. All right, so next,
Kathleen says men are hard work.
They are hard work.
I think both sexes are hard work, actually. Right. I'll tell you why. I'm queer. I'm bisexual, and I've dated both. And I can tell you that each gender comes with their issues.
Right.
But the biggest issue I see across the board is emotionally immature people.
Yes. Emotionally immature. Yes. So I have another series I started on TikTok as of last week because of this whole dating situation. Is emotionally immature men, and because I'm dating guys. That's why.
Right.
I'm not just picking on guys because we can do this too. I'm just talking about my experience, but like there's a lot of those signs too, and those come out pretty right away too. Like those, you can see some of these signs like right off the bat. Like the way people's profiles are says a lot about them too. Like if they don't take the time to even fill out the questions or whatever, and I know it's tedious and it's dumb and the questions are stupid, but like you're trying to find a partner, right? Like you're trying to find someone to date, like, so you should at least put enough effort into it to where your personality comes through, right? You know, like I get that they're dumb, but like the point is to find someone that's going to mesh with you well. So, you know, like, I don't know, it just seems like you should want to put some effort into it. And then also pictures, like, if their age says 50 something and their pictures look like they're 20 something, they're probably using old photos, and then that's not how they look at all. Like, so just be ready for that. Trust me. And it's so unfortunate. It's really, so I would always say that if you're dating, always do a video call before you decide if you want to meet in person, because
that's really smart, actually. That's because I'm, Gen X, so I'm over here like all this tech stuff is still kind of iffy for me, right? Yeah. And I think that's a really like interesting take on it, to do a video call first, so you see that the person is legitly a person.
Right.
And also you can get a feel, right, for who they are or what they're like, right?
Right. Yeah. Because there are some things that just like pictures don't translate into pictures, right? Like there are mannerisms and just ways about your personality that don't come out through a photograph. So yeah, like I've done this a few times, and I have to say that I haven't met anybody. I've only met like one person that I did that because it eliminated it for me. Like I was like, oh, never mind. You know, that their pictures were really cute, but never mind.
No, so, right, like, exactly.
Yeah,
Bonnie says, my question here, I'm going to post
it
here. Okay, so she says, my question includes all people. All of us manifest, even if some refuse to accept this belief. We all create our lives in a certain manner. How are witches different? Oh, good question, Bonnie.
Good question.
I love you for this question. Okay,
Yep.
So How are witches different? Can I start on that one first?
Yeah.
I just want to go off. Okay.
This one's like, so this is the easy answer for me. Like, so yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So witches are different because we live it 24/7. Like somebody can say, I manifested this one thing in my life. Got it. That's beautiful. Witches have to manifest everything because we understand the yes and situation, and we live beyond the regular cycles, right? Right, Anna?
Well, because we're like, the thing is that people manifest things, but they're oblivious to the fact that they're doing it because it's not possible in their mindset. Like, that's not possible. That's magic.
We're living beyond their rules.
We know that that's not magic bullshit. We know that that's just physics, quantum physics. Like, our reality, our existence is the mind creates reality. Like, so if my mind, science says that our minds make our reality. Like, our perception is our reality. So if we perceive things a certain way, then that's going to become our reality. And we use that to our advantage. We weren't like stupid and we're like, oh, that sounds scary, I'm not going to do it. We were like, okay, cool, let's do that. You know what I mean? And let the rest of the masses just over here go figure it out on their own, because like they don't want to hear it anyway. They'll talk about prayer, right? They'll talk about prayer all the time, but they only do that in those dire situations, right? Like, they only do it when so-and-so's sick and everyone come together and pray.
Right, when they're afraid, when they're dealing with their own mortality, then all of a sudden they want fire insurance, right?
Right. But we do it for everything all the time. It's not like
you have to live the life understanding that you are the energy, and as a witch, like I can tell you, it also comes with a lot of people will think it's ego, right? But it's not ego. We've had to shelf our ego to understand universal law and to abide by it, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I can tell you, when I was single at some point, and somebody did get past the test of the Instagram thing, but we were sitting there and they were like, well, what gives you the right to think that you can have this life, blah, 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 blah. That's the scarcity mindset, right?
Why are you so special?
That comes from a muggle mindset, right? Of who do you think you are to do that? Well, there's plenty for everybody. And if you get out of a scarcity mindset, you would understand the way I'm living, but you can't.
Right. And that's like close-minded. Like, so now Kathleen's asking if we believe in karma. So, but before you answer that, I have a quick question to follow up what you just said about ego. So there's many different understandings of ego. There's people that are not familiar with psychology and what ego is to them, right? Like, there's people like myself that are trained in psychology at the very high level, and like, I know what that means in a psychological fashion. But then there's also the spiritual aspect of ego. So, like, what would be a good way to round those out into one definition, do you think, for ego?
For ego? Mm-hmm. Ego is anything that separates you from source.
Right. So anything. So despite what a lot of people think, which is like, if you feel like you are divine, if you feel like you are special, connected, whatever, right? That's
connected to
the
source.
Opposite of being an egomaniac, like what people, like society thinks.
Right.
But people that don't understand that would think you are actually an egomaniac. Like, so.
Right. Yeah. No, so totally. You've got it nailed on the head. Yeah. Somebody who doesn't understand the energetics of what ego is, right? They're going to think that it's just somebody full of themselves, but that's false. Ego is thinking that you're separate from source, right? Source
energy. You have to have an intermediary, that you have to have something else that allows you to connect.
Right. But you and I both understand the saying, I am God.
Yeah, right. I am. It's been in the ancient text forever, and people just gloss right over it on purpose. Because it's there. Like, we are literally, that's what it is. Even the CIA says the same thing. Like,
They do.
They're like, oh, we did all this research, and guess what? It's like, that's what we are. We're all just the fragments of that, like, shattered mirror. Like, it's like the source mirror that's shattered into 8 billion fragments, and each one of us is a fragment. And like, we're all just recording our own trials and tribulations to go be uploaded back up to that conscious understanding at the end of this incarnation. Like, but karma, though, and there's also different definitions of karma. Right. So this question from Kathleen is karma. So when I think general population talk of karma, they're thinking in terms of like you did something bad, therefore something bad's gonna happen to you, right? Like that's typically like what people think about, right?
I think she's
Not us
speaking
necessarily, but like,
relational karma, and that's the one that I would answer is relational karma. But if you're Kathleen, if you're asking us if we believe in like karma in the regular universal law sense, absolutely.
yeah, like, but that's what I'm saying. Like, which definition are we talking about here? Because
But I
Yeah.
don't believe it's as cut and dry
no,
as eye for an eye. Okay.
right? It's not Kota Hammurabi. It's because that would everyone would be blind, right? Like,
Right, everyone would be blind.
Right.
But instead, karma, like especially relational karma, okay, I believe is because I'm an Akashic reader,
Yeah.
and the Akashic records are records on the other side of everything that's ever happened in our universe, our human universe, not an ET universe, our human universe. And it's like the records in heaven, okay? And when you're an Akashic reader like myself, you see energetic contracts, okay? And that's what karma is energetic contracts. And so before we come to this planet to if people do nasty things to innocent people. Okay, I'm going to explain this one, and this one's real deep, okay, Kathleen? This is real deep. So let's see. Somebody could be a really nasty person in one life, and then they will be a victim of that exact thing in the next life.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. That's how it works energetically.
So they look innocent now, and it seems unfair now, but it's really catching back up.
There is no such thing as innocent, and there is no such thing as evil when it comes to these contracts. Right. They are deep energetic contracts, and usually the person that we have as our perpetrator or our killer or our abuser or somebody on the other side who we said, I trust you enough to give me this lesson, and you trust me enough to give you this lesson.
Right.
And those are such harsh truths to wrap your mind around.
Right.
But energetically speaking, it's true. And when you get to the soul point of looking at things, you don't have such human emotions about it anymore, like the human emotion of injustice, right?
No. So I can attest that. I died. I literally was dead, clinically dead, like, and I had zero human emotions, like, and it bothered me when I came back because I was like, oh my God, like, why wasn't I upset about my kids being like orphaned, you know? Mm-hmm. But I just wasn't, like, I just knew it was
because it's your soul. It doesn't have those human emotions.
Right. Because we know, like, the thing is we don't die, like, we die, this physical body, whatever, that's nothing. That's like, as soon as I was out of this body, I was like, oh, hey, I remember that. Like, it was completely fine. Like, so I was very aware that this emotion of human stuff, like, was not a thing. Like, that was very apparent to me, like, right off the bat. Like, I was like, oh, you know, like, just very factual. So yeah, and we don't die. So like, when we're on the other side and we're figuring this stuff out, like, what did I do? What could I have done better? Or whatever, like, lesson I want to learn. We don't have the idea in our head that I'm going to die though. Like, so I don't want this unfair life. It's like this constant, it's an eternal thing. So we have all the time in the literally universe to do it. So it's not like a big deal. But when we're here, it's like this finite period of time that we're here. So, you know, so it's difficult for people.
What about
in human, you know, incarnation to like understand that we would do that, or that like kids would be hurt or whatever. But like, if you did something bad in the past, like that's really bad, like you would say, like, you know, Vlad the Impaler or some shit, you know, or the mustache guy, like that, those people, like, they have to have some harsh next lives, right? To get back for all the damage they've done.
Right. So, they exactly. And since there is balance in the universe, no matter what you do, it demands balance.
Right. That's just physics. Yeah.
And that is just, that is a universal law, right? And like,
yes, it is. Yeah.
And so
all the thermodynamics, like, yes, it is.
Even with revenge, Kathleen said, what about revenge? Even with revenge, like, you got to know what you're getting into. Like, we're in the world of hexes, okay?
Right.
Like, Anna and I deal with crossings and uncrossings on a regular basis. Like, this is the world that we live in because we're magicians, right? And so because of that, you've got to understand whatever you're going to put out, there's going to be an equal putting in some way.
Right. Yeah.
So, you know, if you go and do something to mess with your ex, you might lose your bank card the other day or something, the next day. I don't know, but it's going to be
the same thing. It's not going to be like tit for tat.
It's not going to be tit for tat, right? It's not going to match. It's just going to be something stupid and inconvenience you and make you look like an idiot because you went and did the thing, Like the universe has a sense of humor about these things.
Oh, I know. I know. Like, imagine trying to like hex your ex and burning your house down in the process. Like, that kind of stuff. Like, it's like,
and that stuff happens.
Because, and when that happens, then you were in the wrong. Because if it's something that somebody did something to you to the point where it is required, like it's warranted that you did like some kind of revenge towards them, that kind of outcome would not happen. That kind of, because the universe would be like, no, this is fair. This is fair.
And
so,
also, I think you and I have the same experience too. Like, I've had very good relationships with magicians, but I've also had very not good relationships with magicians. And in fact, my my twins' father is like that. So our kids are highly magical. However, he went the egoic route.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he lost his woohoo, like he went completely gone. Mm-hmm. Like bonkers, and like is a complete recluse now and everything, because when you're on this path, you either marry it and let go of your ego and understand like what you're doing, or you don't do it because you'll go crazy.
Right. And like you can see that change happen in people.
Yes.
Them and they're getting information. They're like psychic.
Yeah, what? he became abusive. He became like angry. He was just angry at everyone around him, isolating himself, know.
The signs I saw were like this person was really psychic, like originally, and then their information started being bad. Like all of a sudden it started not being accurate and like really persecutory, like people were like this, like the messages that were coming through were like people were trying to hurt this person, like or get like he was getting bad information like completely, and I was like, dude, something's wrong. Like you need to maybe reassess what's going on here, because that's not accurate at all. Like you're wrong, and like, but because it had been right so long before, they were not open to even considering that something was going on, like that there was this change in energy. And then there's jealousy too. So because people come in, I don't do this, but apparently everyone else does. First of all, I don't really believe people when they say that they're magical. I am going to be honest. I'm a kind of hypocrite in this way, but I admit it. Like, because
you're not a hypocrite.
I feel like people lie about it a lot, or try to be like front, like they're really into it and they've read like a book, or maybe it's that, like they went on TikTok, whatever. So this is something that I literally studied. I still study my whole since I was 12, like, and so a long time. And so I don't believe it when people say that like, oh, they're magical, until I believe it, until there's something that lets me know they're serious. But when I come and I meet somebody that is also doing this stuff and they feel like they're vetted and they're good, I don't expect for me to be in competition with them, because I'm not. Right. I'm not in competition. But that's the thing that happens to when you date somebody that is also on the magical path, is that sometimes if they have insecurity issues, or a plethora of other things, I'm sure, like can contribute, but like they can start to get jealous about how you're doing your thing, and like then they start trying to tell you that it's wrong, or like, and it starts to become this competition instead of like a partnership. It's a competition, and it's really hard to reconcile with that, because when you're not doing anything like that and you aren't really truly like, that's not how you see it, and you're not trying to, it puts a huge like pressure on it, because now you have this person telling you that you're doing this wrong thing, and you're like, what are you talking? Like it's really not a good spot to be in when one person feels like you're doing something to, I don't even know
sabotage,
what, like, maybe. I guess, like, I'm not sure, but like that was in my last relationship, that was a problem. Like, well,
isn't that a scarcity mindset, Anna?
I guess I don't understand it, and I will never understand it, because scarcity is, I was like sharing everything. Here you go. Here, like I got this. Let me share it with you.
Right, but I'm saying the partner in this situation, not you, was in.
I guess so.
Acting like there's not enough for everybody when there's obviously plenty.
They literally, And then when they were like talking to other girls, they were talking to other tarot card readers, and I was like, oh, okay. I thought there was not room for everybody. Like, so it's just like, so, but the girl you were talking to is a tarot reader. I got it.
Oh, and you know what? Let me bring that up, actually. That's a good one to bring up, too, is when you're dating a witch, okay, here's the problem, guys. Don't lie. Don't lie.
Don't fucking lie. Yeah, don't, like,
she'll
if I ask the question, we already know the answer to the question.
She will find out so fast. She will know, because we have like this internal like truth and lie detector, right? And so like it's not even a mental thing for me personally. It's like I've gotten socked in the gut, you know, just punched in the gut.
Yep.
And I know
overwhelming. You can't deny it. Oh shit, it's that feeling. It's the worst, and it's like it's never been wrong.
Right.
Unfortunately, I would love.
Unfortunately,
I would love it to be wrong, because that's the last thing I ever want. And like,
yes.
Also, the thing is too is like when you're in a magical relationship too, I think for at least me, and I don't know if this is just the girl side of it, but like talking to me about your stuff means something to me. That's like currency. Like that's like love currency to me. Like when you come and you share. So when you're doing it with somebody else, even if you're not physical to that other person, to me that's cheating, because you're now giving that energy to somebody else, and like that's not okay with me. So I think some of us might have a definition of what like infidelity is too, like because it doesn't have to be physical. Like it has to just do with an emotional like unavailability to me, because you're doing you're doing it somewhere else. Like, and that to me is like just as bad. You might as well just go fuck them at that point, because I've already considered you a cheater at this point anyways. You know what I mean? Like, and if that's weird to you, then that's fine. That's weird to you. Like, that's my thing. So like, and that's expressed at the beginning. Like I tell people this, like, it's not like a surprise, but it always comes out like a surprise. Like, oh, I didn't know. Right. Okay, whatever. But like when you're, so the magical people can be dangerous too. Like, because when you break up with them or they break up with you, like then they can start doing stuff to you, right? Like they can start trying to do stuff to you.
Right, but there's a price for it, right? And especially if somebody's working from ego, it's not gonna work for them. It's gonna backfire.
Right. No, and it does, but it still doesn't make it any easier to deal with. Like it's still like hurt, you know, that kind of stuff.
Right. And unfortunately, I'm the only magician that my ex magician who went hoo-hoo, I'm the only one that he was with. And I'm the only one that he's afraid of. And it's for good reason, though, because when you're with somebody who commands their space, right?
Yeah.
Or you're dealing with somebody who commands their space, and you know what that means, and you know that you're actively not in that, you know, you're not obeying the laws, and you're actively just completely going mad. Like, of course you're going to be afraid of that person.
Right. I mean, now let me ask you this question. So when you, because I actually have spoken to my ex's, and one of them other was also a witch too, and I actually knew her from before, and you know, they had the same kind of story. Like, all of them had the same stories, same thing done to them afterwards, and during or whatever. But like, so that made me feel a little better. But the thing is like the one girl, the older ex, like she said, yeah, well, you know. I got from my people that he, like, his powers are going to be diminished because of what he was doing, right? Because the other side is not happy. And I was like, okay, so I've heard this before, but is that actually a thing? Can that actually happen to somebody? If you're abusing your abilities that you've had from your practice for years, and you start doing it in a way that's malicious towards other people, is there a way that can be pulled back from you?
Absolutely. And I honestly believe so. I believe you can lose it. If you're not respecting the process, number one. And number two, also, there's a price for everything, right? And if you decide to put some malicious energy towards someone actively, right? You have to be ready for the price that you have to pay for it.
Right. And if you don't set that price ahead of time,
we don't set the price. We don't get to set the price. You don't get to tell spirit or the universe, well, this is what I want you to take from me. Unless, of course, you're going to somebody like ourselves, like a practitioner, and giving them cash for magic. Like, that is a universal, like, accepted, like, flow thing, energy flow.
Right.
That's totally fine.
Good point. I want to say this really quick, because you just brought and I always forget this. So I had somebody recently, and you actually had put this post out on Facebook about this person that said like charging for your services is bullshit. And, like you should be giving it out for free, okay? And so I was like, I've heard this too, and so I was like, okay, so that's bullshit because my argument at first was because you don't go to a painter and ask them to paint for free. You don't go to a barber and ask them to do your hair for free. Like that's nonsense, right? But it's more than that. And I wanted to bring this up just in case like anyone has questions about it, because what I found in my research, because I started researching this to find out like where did this come from? Like where did this idea that psychics should give away their stuff for free?
Right.
Like where? Well, the church is number one where it came from. But so there you go.
Of course.
But the reason that you're supposed to charge, always, is because when you don't, and someone comes to you and asks you for help, they are now owing you karma. They now owe you. Like,
yes.
If you do it for free, anyone that comes on and gets a free tarot reading or whatever, right? If like they don't leave reviews and like whatever we're asking for, like, hey, just leave a review and I'll give you a free reading. If you don't do that, I guess according to like the laws of what was it? Was it the 8th law? I can't remember.
Laws of exchange.
Yeah, exchange. Thank you. That one. What it does is for the person that got the answer to the question, now they are in debt. And so, like, we don't have anything to do with that. So if you don't do a gesture back and you just take, it's going to come out of your pay. It's going to come out of you later somehow, some way. So like,
right. And that's why
it settles that at the
right. And I think that's why we do this too, is so that people can see what we do, right? And get a little sample of it, like a taste of it, right? For free. And it's not going to harm them. They don't owe us anything.
Right. Because we come out doing that freely, like knowing.
Right. But then also they get something from it, right? And they get to see why we charge what we charge, right?
Right.
So that they can understand the exchange. And also at the same time, I want to say that I charge cash usually. I do a barter system with people, but cash is the easiest thing for people to part with. It truly is. If you asked them for something else, it's going to take more time for them and it's going to take more thought. And usually when people are in a mode of having to come to somebody like ourselves, they're already at that point where I can't handle it myself. I need to talk to somebody.
Right. And what's the number one thing that people come to us for? What's the number one thing?
Oh, gosh. Relationship advice.
Right.
Number one.
Yeah. It's always about dating, relationships.
And you know what's funny? I can sniff a divorce a mile away.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I don't know about you. I can smell it.
Well, I know when someone's cheating immediately. Yeah. Like,
cheating. I can tell you if somebody's cheating on you, like, boom, like that. I don't have to even hesitate.
Yeah.
Because for me, it feels like, a punch in the stomach. And when somebody's about to get a divorce, like, I see it. I can tell you exactly when it's going to happen.
Yeah, like that. I can tell when someone's like you're being lied to, like 100%.
Oh yeah.
And unfortunately, like even though people come just and ask these questions about like love, they don't like the answers a lot of the time. And and even though they're coming because there's a reason they're coming because they know something's off, but they still like a lot of people like refuse to believe it. And
you know what? We're at 20 after. I mean, we're at 20 till. Yeah. So guys, we're gonna open this up to while we're talking about this.
Yeah.
We're gonna open it up for questions for free mini readings. If you have a question for us, post it in the comments.
Let me get my deck. But yeah, so I think there's pros and cons to both dating like regular and regular and magical people. The cons for dating regular people is like you're always kind of having to, I don't know, be worried if they're gonna judge you. I guess like.
I don't worry about that. I've dated muggles and I think they're great. I just think that for what's required to be with me, somebody's got to be a magical practitioner or at least on their way.
Right.
At least in the way of being a psychic medium or empath.
Yeah, something
but an embodied empath, right? Like not somebody who's just like victimized all the time by their empathic ability.
There's a difference. Yeah, so Kathleen just asked if we ever get bad feelings from people. Yes, all the time.
Yeah.
Like, this is why I don't have many friends that I hang out with. This is why I don't don't go on dates. Like I will meet people and then I'll be like, that video call does it. Like that says it for me. Like I can tell right away. Like I'm not gonna gel with this person like at all. And it's not just like
But she's
more,
asking about
more
in
to it.
readings too, like people that we read, and I can tell you, yes, Kathleen, I actually read somebody who I saw into their mind, because I can sometimes look inside people's minds, not all the time, but sometimes. And I saw inside their mind, and I saw some really shady things that they did, and I didn't feel very good about seeing them a second time. So I made sure I was unavailable for them.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely things
I don't mix with that kind of negative energy. I will not even entertain it.
Right. And now I'm like, that's the thing I've learned this time around now that I'm single. Is like, I ignored a lot of red flags this last time. And I thought I was being kind of bitchy and judgmental when I even thought of them the first, originally. And I realized that I don't care anymore. I'm going to go ahead and be bitchy and judgmental, because at the end of the day, it's going to be my sanity and like my peace of mind. Like that's, intact at the end of the day, right? Instead of being like devastated by somebody's bullshit and then being the victim of like this online smear campaign of nonsense, right? Like, it's just, like I'm never gonna like ignore that stuff again. And I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, for sure. And like, but isn't that funny? Like, I feel like when you're in the magical dating world, it's some of it, like things that normal people would think are red flags, we might think are not.
Right.
Yep. You know?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I like
so many things are different.
Right. Because our experience is different. So like for me, it's like I would prefer that you have more of a crazy background, because then you're going to understand me better. Right? Because, like there's you can't always, it's not always your fault that things happen to you, right? But there's definitely a mindset though that can attract that. And like, if you haven't figured out how to transmute that shit at this point, you probably aren't gonna. And like, and that's the stuff I'm staying away from going forward. Like, you can't always be the victim. Like, if you keep having the same repeated patterns, it's you, dude. Like, it's you. Like, there's something about you that's having it. And I had to come to that realization about myself, which sucked. Like, I'm attracting people that are narcissistically inclined, abusive. And why is that? And I realized what it is. Because I was able to do things with myself and to get over certain things, like problems, like behaviors that were maladaptive. I did the work and I got over them, and I got through them, and I tend to them all the time still to make sure they don't come back. I assume everyone else can do the same, and that's wrong, unfortunately.
Right.
Because I was able to do it and beat my demons, like, so to speak. I assume that ability lies in everybody else. So therefore, when I see some red flags, I'm like, oh, it's okay though, because they said they want to change. Well, saying it and doing it are entirely different things. So I no longer will do that. So yeah, no more. Like, I don't want to hear about it. I want to see it.
So did anybody have any questions for us as far as a reading they would like? Because we're ready. My cards are out and ready. And actually my channel is open and ready for readings. Anybody who wants to come on and ask a question, please do. I'm going to grab my cards.
General. In what area, though?
General, please. Okay, Kathleen.
Like in love and what? Love or in career? Because that's what generals are hard for. Like, generals means you have to float through a lot of energy to figure out like what you want to know. So any kind of narrowing that down helps. Cool, new journey. See.
Oh, this one just kind of jumped out. Hearth. Kathleen, are you going to a new home?
It's not a new journey, in the beginning of something. In spirit, okay. In spirit. So are you starting on like a new path spiritually? What, like have you shifted? Are you shifting?
She's interested in what we do. I can tell you already.
Yeah, not yet. Okay. So I got this message, like right now I just heard like you're gonna have to take the horse by the reins and like direct it where you want to go. Like, being curious is fine, but the action needs to be taken on your part. Like, and there's hesitation. And
not a clear choice has been made yet.
Right. Like, there's hesitation, but I think it's that guilt, that Like guilt that we all get.
So I'm seeing that you have like a need to associate yourself with some pagan roots, Kathleen. And
ancestry, yeah.
Yeah, and but see, I'm getting the moon reversed to me, which means that you're having some issues with your insight, right? Like your insight for yourself. So that's why you're so undecided. But I got the wand, and to me that means that you can manifest your own magic. It's just about becoming the universal student and understanding that you need to learn, be like a sponge and absorb it.
Right. So like that, the Fool is the new step, like taking a new path forward, like a different direction, going in a wholly new way. And then the Knight of Wands is that taking the reins. Like, so I think a good thing to do is if you're trying to figure out your spiritual place or path, we go look at your ancestry, go get like a DNA test done, see what your roots are, and see, and then start researching those.
I just had the word Celtic Druid jump out in my head.
Yeah. So this is, well, that's confirmation then that, yeah, you should be going on a new path because it's much more in alignment with who you are at a soul level than what you're doing now or have been doing or were indoctrinated to do, like, you know, from childhood or whatever. Like, so it's going to come fast at you though. Like as soon as you make that choice and take that leap of faith, like take that first step, like shit's gonna go like really fast. This Eight of Wands is here, like it's gonna be, you're gonna get a lot of information from a lot of places, and that could be in your mind's ear, in your mind's eye, like, you know, like getting dreams, whatever, like stuff coming at you really quick. Because there's something like built up waiting for you, like it's like been waiting, like behind, you know, like it's like waiting for you to figure it out. Does that make sense? Like, wait, it's been there, like, wait, when is she gonna knock on the door? When is she gonna come looking? You know, like.
Absolutely. And Kathleen, if you have any like into your good, but I really feel Celtic Druidism is something you need to look into.
Well, look at her name, yeah.
Like, yeah. Yeah, and also, but I wasn't even thinking about the name, but you're right.
I just looked at her last name right now. I was like, yeah, so it's like Connor,
Kathleen, and on my site, I have an offering. It's an activation. It's a magical activation that I do one-on-one for people, and it's to guide them on the magical path. And then you continually see me monthly after that to guide you where you need to go as far as your magical path. Right. So if that's something to look into, that you want to look into, go to my website, thegypsysiren.com. I have been doing this for a long time now. And I am an LHP initiate, which means left-hand path. And so I teach others how to walk down this path as well.
Right. So, and then like to get to that point where you decide you want to like use a service like Stephanie's service, which is great, right? Like she's good at what she does. You can do a thing right off the bat, like tonight. That's free and like can help you out. So like before you go to sleep, you can set an intention, like you can write like in a journal or something on a piece of paper next to your bed that you would like one or more of your ancestors to come and give you a sign in your dream of what you should be doing. Okay. Yes. I had this assignment for one of my graduate classes a couple terms ago for my shamanic traditions class. And I kind of laughed at it because I was like, this is dumb. It's not going to work, right? I'm a skeptical witch. Okay, I'm sorry. I am. And so I did it, though, because I had to record it and do it for a grade. And guess what happened? It actually worked. I was so shocked. I was like, holy shit. So I asked for that. I said, like, show me, like, what path am I supposed to be on? Like, is there something else I'm supposed to be doing, like more ancestral related, whatever? And sure enough, I ended up getting like some Viking people coming to me, and I checked my DNA, and sure enough, I have that lineage back all the way to Scandinavia. Like, so it matched, like, and that's cool too. So like the DNA thing is cool because then you can see it in real life, like in black and white, like that it's matching what you're getting, like that's helpful.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can do that. But like, this is something you can do real quick, and it may not come day one in your dreams, but like it did. I was surprised it came that night. But
Anna, do you want to share the thing that I saw in your head and how it was your ancestor who was over you, and you had to check into it, right?
We did, because again, I'm a skeptical. I'm a former scientist, and I can't help it. Okay, I can't help it. So yeah, like what you were doing a reading on me, right? And then you saw some things glowing in my forehead. And I was like, okay. And so she drew it, and it was like, oh shit, those are runes. Like those were like.
I don't know runes. I don't do rune work.
So I also don't really know runes. I have some, but I never use them. Like they've just been in a bag for like years. So I looked them up, and it wasn't the first runic alphabet I found. It was like the second or third one, but it actually like was a message, and I was like, oh shit, like it was pretty nuts. So yeah, the sign that you have, like, so you're getting signs now. Like we're telling you, so that's a sign.
Coming here and having us read you and tell you paganism, Celtic Druidism, like that's a sign, Kathleen.
And you're waiting for a sign, and like how many, you know, like what are the odds that you're gonna jump on someone's show like live and that they're gonna like offer to do it free, and you're actually gonna get it in that sitting without having to wait and compete with other, like that's a lot. Like, so you know,
there's no coincidences,
right? Yeah, recognize that. Also that like you're supposed to be doing something different. Like that's, you are like, and you have some hesitation and guilt, likely because of the way you're raised in like your belief system of religion or whatever, and this is different from that. But that's okay, because guess what? This path existed way long before religion did. Like way before.
Oh, so, long before.
Yeah. This is the OG, okay? The church is okay, so this is not, and it's nothing evil. It's like the people that say that want to keep us separate. So like the idea is that we're not part of God, like God's not us.
They're afraid of our power.
Right, it's separate. So
yeah,
how does the church have power? The church has power by telling us that we need to use them to be able to speak to God. That's not true. Like we literally are.
Oh, she's having a Viking wedding. How cute. So she says my daughter's getting married next year. She is having a Viking wedding. How cute.
Oh my gosh. That's lovely. Are they going to do like the whole, the besom and stuff, like with the broom and the hand fasting, like Viking hand fasting? That's like their thing. So like that is, the Celtic Druid roots, totally true. So yeah, that's, I guess we verified that, right? Like that's a
verification for sure. So, there it is.
Well, you're then Catholic, right? Is that what you went through? Was it Catholicism then for your family? Is that what it was? Because they are scary. That's their thing, is they want to scare people. You know, there's some videos you can watch. This pastor or priest, Father Brannon, he's amazing. He talks about it, what the church does and why they make people scared.
Right,
so, like,
and I'm actually
get rid of that, like fear.
Right, and I'm actually an ordained minister.
Me
I have
too.
been. I have been for 23 years. I got ordained in 2000, and I've been on the path ever since. And I can tell you that the powers that be, the structures of our churches, our mainstream churches, right, are very patriarchal, right? Yeah. And it doesn't empower women. And when there's a path that empowers both genders, right, or a path that empowers women, they get very scared. And they want to stop that from happening.
Right.
And in order to keep the church in power, what you do is make the people feel disempowered. Like they need the church.
Right. And then make them happy about it by saying, like, the meek shall inherit the world. And, like, you know, you're only doing it right if you're being persecuted. You know, like that kind of stuff.
Self-empowerment. Yeah. Right.
Right. So because if we were being honest, like those people, and don't even get it twisted for a second, the people at the top of all those organizations know damn well what the truth is, and they practice the actual truth themselves, and then they disseminate bullshit to everybody else. And that's how it's always been, like, since the day it started. So all you have to do is do a little research, just a little bit of history research. Like, and if you need help with that, I teach world religion at the college level. Also, I can help you. Like, I'll send you. You do your own. I'll send you stuff. You can vet it on your own. Like, this is legit. People don't like hearing it because it's like, wait, I've been taught that my whole life. I was that way. I was like not believing in anything because I just didn't resonate with religion. But I also practiced witchcraft, so it was really a problem for me. But then I died, and like when I died, I saw what doesn't happen, okay, which is hell and shit. Like, none of that.
Roman Catholic. Oh, Kathleen, I understand, honey. I was raised Catholic in the Catholic Church my whole life.
They are
up until
the epitome of the fear mongering. Yes, like it's I mean, that's really mean, like, to make people so scared like that. And it is scary.
Yeah.
Even though I wasn't religious, I still, in the back of my mind, before I died, was worried. What if they're right? What if they're fucking right? What if me reading tarot cards does mean I'm going to go to hell? Like, what if? Like, and then thank God I died. Seriously, because I no longer have any of that fear. Like, none. Nope. Like, you could tell me that until you're blue in the face. I don't care. Like, I know you're like, for you that you believe that. Like, that sucks. Like, no, that's not true. So,
I'm yeah, you're good. You're going to be just fine.
Yeah,
and I think if you just open up and say, I am a student of the universe, like that's a very powerful statement. If you say, I am a student of the universe, show me what I need to see. The universe is going to come in and show you exactly what you need to see.
Right. Yeah. You don't have to say which or this
no,
or that. Like,
you don't have
like
to.
you said, like universe, because guess what? If God, quote unquote, made that anyway, right? So it should all be good. Like, even based on religious standards, if you go by that, then anything you learn from something God made should be good, right? Like, so that you just find comfort in that if you have to in the meantime. But yeah, you'll get the answers you want. I have a feeling it's going to come really fast to you, though, Kathleen. So be prepared.
Oh, especially because she tuned in here, because we're both activators over here. Because that's a whole energetics episode, but activator.
No, seriously, you're going to get a lot like that.
Yeah, it gives you good energy that heals things for you and helps you propel yourself.
Yeah, it is. And it's against the lack mindset. It's against the separation mindset. It's against all that. It's about you are who you are, and that's you are part of God. You are divine yourself. You have all the abilities and capabilities within you, and all you have to do is just recognize them and unlock it. That's it. It's all there already.
Yes, absolutely. And if anybody else has any questions before we go off, because we are almost at our hour mark, we are here to give you guys readings. Thank you, Kathleen. We're so thankful that you showed up and started asking us questions.
Yes, this is I love that. Yeah.
I'm hoping Bonnie's still watching, but I don't know for sure. But Bonnie, if you're on, still wave at us.
Oh, shiitake mushrooms. Shiitake mushrooms. That's a new word. Okay, hang on. Oh yeah. So yeah, just take it slow. Like, you don't have to. Rome wasn't built in a day. Like, just learn little by little.
Are there any books, Anna, that you would tell somebody to start with?
Yeah, God damn it, I would. They wouldn't be like.
Bonnie's here. Bonnie, do you have any questions for us or for the cards? Because we're gonna close up shop soon, and I'd love to give anybody else a reading who's willing.
Like the keys, Solomon's keys, like all of the old books are good because, like all the old grimoires before the church was there, because those ones show you what the hell was actually going on before the advent of the church, like what those people were practicing. And then, so you can see that this literally was on purpose. Like, it was all done on purpose. I think that's helpful.
I agree with you, Anna. It was all done on purpose. And also, I would like to say you should read Carolyn Miss Soul Contracts.
Yeah, some of her decks are her stuff's good.
And also A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle is really good and helpful. Also Be Here Now by Baba Ram Dass is excellent. These things help you kind of understand where we're at energetically. Because if you don't understand energetics, I feel like energetics gives you a leg up on the magic path. I really truly do.
There's the first book I ever got for witchcraft was called The Spiral Dance by
Bonnie, Family Members, you got it.
And that one was good. It was but it was a little bit more Wiccan. But that's okay. I think you should read as much as you can from all different practices, like I did. I don't read just one thing. I read all of it because otherwise you don't know, So Starhawk's good, Spiral Dance, talking about the empowerment, the energy about it, and the history.
Okay. So I'm reading for Bonnie right now, and I got Summerland, which to me means that you're coming into a very light time. Things are going to get good. Okay. And Hearth, which also, the hearth is the heart of the home, right? So I'm feeling like things are getting good at home. That doesn't mean with family members, though. I'm not feeling like it's with family members, but I feel like things are going to get smoother for a little bit for you. The words of the Magus, right? So I feel like you're coming into a time of empowering yourself, Bonnie, and like things are going to get good. However, though, with your family stuff and like the other stuff, as above, so below, reversed is telling me that things are still going to be rough, but you're going to be more of the calm, centered one.
Right. So like for Bonnie, I got this the Knight of Swords, and like what is I'm hearing automatically is like you've got to stop. You got to like put your foot down when it comes to being bullied about your beliefs. Like your truth is like your truth, and like I don't care if it's your kids or not. Like they should respect
I
you.
don't care who it is.
Like, and I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying that like in your house to your mom, like I don't give a fuck how old your kids are. Like you're still their kids. Like have some respect. So that whole thing about religion again here, don't worry about like hurting feelings about this. Like this is your truth. Like so
Yeah,
don't worry. You're gonna go forward and like on your horse like and stab people with your truth because like you're like just no more of that. Like you stop trying to shame me. Stop trying to like guilt me into like believing or agreeing with you on stuff I don't agree with. Like
yeah,
I think you know better at this point.
Here's the thing, guys, and I'm going to give you this energetic truth. And this is something to ponder too, because this is relevant in the dating world as much as it is anywhere else. Here's my statement. People pleasing is lying.
It is. It is.
So when you're avoiding confrontation and telling people what they want to hear, you're being a liar. And when you're being a liar, you're harming yourself and them.
You're right.
Because you're telling them your expectations are something that they are not.
Yep.
So you're setting yourself up for harm and hurt, right? Yeah. And at the same time, you're also harming and hurting yourself by not protecting your needs, wants, and desires.
Right. And those matter. Like, you know,
it matters because nobody else is going to give one little poopy about your wants, needs, and desires if you don't voice them.
Right. And the thing is, too, is like, it's like this. It's like, look, there are people that you're just never going to see eye to eye with about it. Okay. That's a fact. So for those people in my life, what I say is like, I understand your point of view. I don't agree with it, but you're entitled to it. I would prefer that you keep your opinions about this going forward to yourself. I've heard your side. I've heard what you have to say. And while you present a thought-provoking argument, like it's just not my thing. It's just not resonating with me. Like, so stop wasting your breath. Stop it and just like go about your business because you're not doing it. You know, as long as you are even that way, you're not trying to push.
You're not malicious. You're practicing, and there's nothing wrong with practicing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like, and yeah, it's just you got to stand up for like that stuff for you, especially because I know it takes a toll. Like the church, you know, I know that stuff is bad. So like, it's just, that one person in your life that keeps telling you about it, it's like, they've got to stop it. Like you got to put your foot down about it and be a little bit more assertive about that, even though you don't want to be mean. You're not. It's called protecting your own, like yourself. Like you don't need to be subjected to that all the time, you know?
No, you need to be your own advocate in this situation, and you can do it. And people demonize people who advocate for themselves, and when they do that, it's the trash taking itself out, really.
Right. I mean, these people, like, I know it's difficult, like, to reconcile, like, how somebody can have a certain experience and then go backwards in their belief system, right? Like, from that to go back to, like, the teachings of organized religion, but, like, that's what she did. And so, you know, I feel like that's just going to be a little bit more, there's this back and forth between you guys. And it's like someone has to stop it. And I think it has to be you because you're the mom. You got to put your foot down and just say, like, I don't know why that just came through right now, like really big though, for some reason. I don't know what's going on, but like, I feel like that's going to be a thing coming up for you. Like, getting some more shit about that, you know, like more flack. So just be prepared for that and just know that like, that's not anyone's place to tell you what to believe, and nor is it your place to tell them, right? So, you know, just you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, or how about we don't scratch each other's backs, and like we're just gonna agree to disagree, you know?
She says thanks. Thank you, Bonnie.
You're welcome, Bonnie. We love you.
So I love that we had all these people show up today and got readings and some thorough readings today. Yeah. And we got to talk a little bit about dating and what it's like, you know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we got our first sponsor too. Like, you tell them that.
Oh, we should talk about our sponsor too.
Yeah. Well, we not yet because that stuff's still on its way, but we got a sponsor, and it's really cool. I'm excited. I know, like, probably it's not a big deal for a lot of people, but for me, like, I think it's awesome. So
it's very awesome, and we're very excited to share with you guys when it comes up.
We'll share with you guys next. I think probably maybe tomorrow even. Like, I'll check my email and see. But yeah, so that's a good stepping. That's a new step forward for us too. Especially right at the beginning, that's a big deal. I think it's good. It's a good
Absolutely.
so, yeah. So we love you guys. Thank you guys for coming and like supporting us and being here and like talking with us in our Magic Hour every Thursday and Friday. And tomorrow we'll be back on at 7 now.
7 p.m.
Pacific time. So
same bat channel.
Yeah, different topics. Same people. So, and we were also we might have guests. Like, we don't know yet. We're fleshing out some ideas about like bringing other people on, like interviewing people, stuff like that, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's going to be changing up, and then also we're going to be starting to do like a giveaway at the end of the show, like actual private reading with either of us for someone, and it'll be done at random. So if you're here the whole time, your name will be automatically entered, and then that way you can have like a one-on-one, not on camera,
full-blown private reading with one of us.
Yep. So yeah, like we're gonna be doing that. We'll start that tomorrow. So we hope to see you guys then, and take care, you guys. I hope everyone's good.
Bye.
Bye.